So there's my name. All of you should have received 15,000 emails that I sent out the last week and a half. Hopefully y'all got the 3 that's most important. You should have got 3 emails. One is an introductory that basically told you to get started looking at my YouTube channel and downloading Office. You should have received a second email with my syllabus and handouts, and then you should have received 1 academic calendar. Everybody, if you didn't, I also put it up on Mylabsplus, so you can't use that excuse I didn't get my email. I know, I can be a bastard sometimes. All right, Tri-County Tech Help Desk, 864-646-1779. Write that down. That is for any help with your password, resetting your password, anything having to do with access to Blackboard when it's working, anything having to do with registration, anything having to do with anything at Tri-County Tech, considering IT, that's the number to call. Mylabsplus, I would highly suggest not using this number until a very, very, very last resort. Okay? They'll put you on hold for 6 or 7 days. So I would highly suggest, I will tell you the chain of command to go through, but right now, none of you can get on. Well, you might know they haven't loaded. Mylabsplus has not loaded any of my 111s. I'm going to show you. And I'll tell you the story why, if I can find it. The reason is because there's all my classes. And if you see, there's no Math 111s. They accidentally deleted my Math 111s about 2 days ago. Okay? It all had to do with this coordinator course right here. Okay? I told them to make sure that this coordinator course linked up with all my 4 blah, blah, blah. And I told them I'd put the syllabus and the handouts on this one, and then it would go to the blah, blah, blah. Well, they deleted the Math 111s because they wanted me to fix this, and then they would make new Math 111s, and this would feed those Math 111s. Because these are, 4 courses. I got Anderson campus, Pendleton campus, so I'm going to have 4 Math 111s up here, and this coordinator course feeds to those 4. So if I change the date on your Unit 1 test to the 4th of July, I don't have to change it on the 4 111s. It'll feed to those 4 111s. But to make the long story short, they deleted my 4 Math 111s, and they hadn't put them back up yet. And I just texted her and said, we're waiting. And she said she would try to load them as soon as possible. Okay? To make a long story short, y'all just don't have to worry about Mylabsplus until Thursday, okay? Or until you click on the Mylabsplus link and it sends you to the Math 111 and you see it. When you see it, then that means they fixed the problem. We'll talk about that later, okay? Later today, we're going to talk about that. But that's why none of you can get on Mylabsplus, because technically your class does not exist yet. It will be down here, or right in here somewhere, and there'll be 4 of them: Oconee, Anderson, Easley, and Pendleton. All right, so that takes care of that. So nobody, now I know some of y'all are Hammy the Squirrel, and y'all are just bouncing around. You need some medication, but you're worried to death about Mylabsplus. If I'm sitting here telling you not to worry about it, then you don't need to what? You don't need to worry about it. Thank you. We got one person that interacts, and she's not from around here. Pendleton will not interact. There's something about that room up there. It must be weaned on a pickle. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, when students go into that room, they weaned on a pickle. They will not talk. So they're going to sit up there like a tit on a bull. Easley usually talks to me, and Oconee sometimes. It depends on, I don't know, the weather up there. I don't know what it is, but I had one class last semester, they wouldn't talk for nothing. And then the semester before that, they wouldn't shut up. So Oconee goes up and down. Pendleton's pretty constant. They don't talk, period. So I hope y'all change that. Don't sound like it. So they're just going to sit there. Yeah, whatever. All right, so let's look at our handouts. Math 109, no, Math 111. Syllabus and handouts. And the first one is the most important one, and that is the outline. The outline is the most important. Notice I didn't say the syllabus. The syllabus is written for those people in Columbia. So it doesn't do us any good because it uses words that we don't understand. So, but there's a test question right there, so you might want to write that down. That's important. I'm telling you to write it down because I know I've got, let's see, there's 5 here, 8. How many people are in Oconee? I only see 3.
There's only 3.
Okay, and I got 3, that's 6, and 5, that's 11, and 8, about 10. So 21 people pretty much. So chances are we got 3 people that, I checked my email. We probably got 3 of the, I didn't check my email. That went out back in 2003. Okay. If you start a college class, you need to check your email. We have rovers on Mars, okay? You need to get with the program. So if you don't raise your hand, don't say anything, don't tell on yourself. But from now on, because I know there's somebody out there. I know there's somebody in here or out there, I didn't check my email. You need to get with the program. All right, grading scale. That's pretty self-explanatory, base 10 scale. That's not a test question. The test question is grading, okay? The grading scale, I meant the grading weights. In my class, 80% of your grade comes from the unit, test, and the final exam. 80%. 20% comes from your homework. So if you don't do any homework, the highest grade you can make in this class is a B. If you take zeros on all of your homework, the highest grade you can make is a B. Now, you may see a test question that says 10% quizzes. I do that to keep my people above me happy. They says I need to give quizzes, so I put it on the test as quizzes, and I never give y'all quizzes. Unless y'all want quizzes. Y'all want weekly quizzes?
No.
Not many people do. And that's busy work for me because, I would just put it online and then I'd get fussed at for giving quizzes online. Okay? I have a lot of people that want me to do busy work in class and I'm not going to do it. Okay? So, there's a test question. You get one test question from your syllabus, 2 test questions from your academic calendar, 2 test questions for my information, and then I think there's 4 or 5 questions from DAD students over the semesters. Okay? If you don't know what DAD is, it's a disorder. Figure out what DA stands for, and the last word is disorder. And there's a LAD, a DAD, a RAD. There's several Hubert's disorders. No reply. Trying to figure out where his race car. And mom spelled backward as mom. Okay, that is the syllabus. Oh, I forgot to show you the most important thing of the syllabus. Sorry. And that is the last page. You need to print that out. You need to put it in your notebook, tape it to your math book, put it inside your cover of your notebook. That is the most important page. Why? Well, y'all are in Math 111. Y'all are going to be taking calculus next semester. Y'all are adults. Okay? So you need to start thinking like an adult. If I go over 9.1 today and you're not here for Thursday's class, then chances are I went over 9.2. 9.3 will be next Tuesday. 9.4 will be next. You're supposed to use the outline to tell yourself, what am I going to go over next? Okay? It's a template. It's also for you to use in case you are worried about the test the first day of class. Oh, I guarantee you there's people wondering, when are we going to have the first test? When are we going to have the first test? You need medication, all right? The outline says that we will have the Unit 1 test when? After we finish what? 9.5. So you look at the outline and you say to yourself, okay, Hubert's going to do 9.4 Thursday. So that means we're probably talking about a test the next week. Somebody will go home tonight thinking we're going to have a test next week. Now that I said that. Okay? Don't do that. Please don't. You follow. When I start 9.1, that's when you use the outline and you start deciding, okay, 9.4 is coming up. I need to get all my homework done. I need to get everything done because he's going to have a test pretty soon. So, Hubert's rule of communication. If you ask me a question that I've already covered, will I reply? No. And if you go to my boss and say, Hubert, don't reply to my emails, you know what she's going to look at you like? You don't read your handouts. Because she knows I don't reply to people when just like today. If you send me an email and you say, I was just wondering when the Unit 1 test is going to be, when are we going to have the Unit 1 test? Will you get a reply from me? No. Pull out the dadgum outline and you look to see when we're going to be on 9.4 or 9.5, and that's when you will think about the test. Capiche? You also have Skype and availability. If you miss, like if I go over 9.1 on Tuesday and Thursday I'm going to cover 9.2, but you got a doctor's appointment, that's what your cell phone is for. You can Skype for business. Skype in, watch the presentation, write notes as you're in the doctor's office waiting, or in the parking lot waiting, or whatever the case may be. Number 3, the third way is you can watch the video that afternoon. There is no way, if you ever meet anybody that has failed my class, you might want to get away from them because something might rub off on you, like LAD or DAD. Y'all figured out what LAD and DAD is?
LAD is like what, lazy attitude disorder?
Attitude, wow. You could say attitude. I usually say ass, but somebody gets offended. I don't know what you call a donkey, but you know, I said lazy ass disorder and dumbass disorder, and somebody said they were offended because I said dumbass disorder. Dumbass disorder is when you have the information in front of you on handouts and you send me an email or a text asking the same thing. That's DAD. Please don't do that because I won't reply. Okay? Now, I will answer questions on math. Yes, I'll answer questions on math. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about asking a question when it's right there in front of you on a handout. No, I'm not going to answer a question. First of all, I don't know how y'all are going to send questions in. And what dictates the speed of this class? You. The Anderson campus, the Pendleton campus, the Anderson campus, if you send in questions, I'm going to be going over questions instead of going over new material. You, as a class, dictate, 1, how fun this class is, Pendleton, and 2, how fast this class goes. Okay?
Hi, Hubert.
Oh no, get out of here. That's the person you complain to when I don't reply to your emails because you have the information on handout. That's who you reply to.
Hi, everybody. I'm the department head.
Are you bringing in another student?
No, I was just walking by and just making sure everything's good.
No, she's making sure I've done offended somebody today.
Picking up on you, Hubert.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Anyway, that's who you bitch to if I offend you. Oh yeah, and I'm not. If you're a snowflake or a buttercup, you might as well go ahead and drop, okay? Because I expect my students to have a sense of sense of humor. Yeah, I expect them to have a sense of humor because you need a sense of humor. You know what happens if you don't dream? If you don't dream for about 2 or 3 weeks, you go insane. You start hallucinating. You start to go crazy. It's been proven. Okay? You know what happens if you don't have a sense of humor? You look like you're weaned on a pickle. Okay? And you grow up and you have 15 cats in your house and you're miserable the rest of your life. Okay? So you need to develop your sense of humor. I have 4 cats. I'm well on my way. Okay? I love cats. I hate dogs. I don't kill them. I don't run over them. But I don't like a dog. I don't like dogs. They bark all the time. They slobber on you. They're nasty. And they don't mind you. And my mama has all the dogs for me and her both. I don't like dogs. Okay. So I have no idea where I was talking now. So just make sure you don't send me no DAD questions. Okay? So the outline is the most important. So make sure you have that outline. If you don't, it's on Mylabsplus, so you can't use that excuse, I didn't get your email. So let's get rid of that one. Let me go back. Mylabsplus, sorry. There we go. Where is class? I think I've lost class. Okay, I'll pull it back up. Oh, I pulled it up through email. That's what I was doing. Okay, this is what your class will look like. And it'll be on the side. See, there's the 110 right there. See it? There's the syllabus. And this is your class courtesy. Now, let me ask you a question. Pendleton, you're going to have to talk, okay? Anybody up there heard anything about my class?
No.
That doesn't surprise me because Pendleton don't interact with anybody. Easily, have you heard anything about my class?
I had you last semester.
Okay, what class did you have?
110 online.
Okay. And you actually passed? Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
I try to talk people I try to talk y'all into quitting, and y'all don't.
No.
Who else? Did I have you for class also up there at Easley?
No.
I didn't have
What
you.
about you on the left?
I haven't had you. I'm a freshman.
All right, but you don't know anything about my class except for what he tells you, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you a question, Easley. What's your last name? Because I can't recognize you. I don't see you right now. You had me
Miller.
before. What's your last name?
Miller.
Miller. One word to describe my class.
I don't know. I'd say easy.
Easy? Okay.
Yeah, the work
I don't
wasn't
mind
too
that.
bad. And the
I don't
tests
have
were
a
pretty
problem.
easy.
If I can make math easy, I've done my job. Okay? Oconee, have any of you heard anything about my class?
It's what Carrie told us.
I'm sorry, what?
It's what Carrie told us.
What did she tell you?
She said he was a good teacher. He looked good.
Okay, well that's a compliment coming from her. Okay? How about y'all? Have y'all heard anything? Okay. Well, y'all need to go to Rate My Professor, because I've heard that I've had pretty accurate. I don't look at it because I'm scared to death to look at it. Okay? I've heard my students tell me that it's pretty accurate. We're going to go to Rate My Professor and make fun of other teachers, but I'm not going to pull mine up, okay? Because I don't like doing that. Okay. The reason I'm asking you that is because in 24 years, I've been teaching at Tri-County. Can anybody guess how many people I've thrown out of my class?
2.
3. Close. How'd you know 3?
2.
Oh, you're the
I
one.
watched the video.
Oh, we did have somebody watch the first and
I
second
watched
day
the
video. Wow. 3 people. So if you want to be in that exclusive club, you just don't follow the first rule. Okay? I treat students the way I want to be treated, and I will treat you if you treat me the same way. Okay? 2 guys, I don't know, they had self-esteem issues or something. Overcompensation, I don't know. They just had issues. And then the third one was she was just a bitch. Nothing could please her. I mean, I don't care if I came in and gave everybody an A. She would be like, why are you giving everybody else an A? Why don't you just give me an A? I mean, she would just complain about everything. And finally one day, I don't know, I just came in and I just said, leave. I said, leave. And she left and didn't come back for a week. So anyway, that was interesting. But 3 people. And you take 5 classes at 30 a class. I'm just averaging, that's 150. 150 times 3 is 450. Let's say 500. 500 times 20 years. That's what, 10,000 students? Something like that? I don't know how long, but anyway, that's a lot of students. To only have 3 walk out of my class, that's pretty good. And the reason I think I've had such good success with teaching is because of that rule. I treat students the way I want to be treated. So, what does that mean about the cell phones? Well, I've got one right here. I use it all the time. I got a 7th grader, and I got a daughter that's a senior at Clemson. And I got a mother that's 80, and she calls me all the time, about 5 times a day. But when those 3 numbers come up, I'm going to answer them. Why? Because that means if my son and my daughter calls, usually if my son calls, that means trouble. He's in trouble. My daughter calls, that means she's wanting something. No, I'm just kidding. It means that she's needing something, like something's wrong with her car, or she needs to ask me a question about something. But I know that it's important. You have families, okay? But no matter what some of your teachers think, this is a community college. That means a community. That means that you have families. You're not in a dorm. You're not a resident. This is not a residential campus, even though some teachers think that they are, even though they're not good enough to teach it anyway. Some people think that, and they're not. So you have parents, you have brothers and sisters that might call you. If that happens, you get up. You don't have to ask. Get up, you go out in the hallway, and you answer your phone. Because that's what I'm going to do. It happens very rarely. But there's 2 things that pisses off teachers. One is being disrespectful, and the other is being rude. And just ask yourself this question. If you, as a student, Mr. Miller, since you were one of my students, you come up to my desk at the end of class or in front of the monitor there at the end of class, and you ask me a question about a 3-part question in homework. And as soon as you start asking me that question, I start texting on my phone. What is that?
Rude.
It's rude. So what's the difference in me texting when Mr. Miller is asking me a question and Mr. Miller texting while I'm teaching? Is there a difference? No. Put yourself in that position whenever you think about texting on your phone. And if you do that, you won't text on your phone unless you have some issues or something. Okay, because you will say to yourself, this is rude. Okay? First time I'll call you out. First time I'll just say something. I'll say like, what did I tell y'all about texting in class? Second time I'll call you out. Third time I'll embarrass you and ask you to leave. Okay? And then you'll have to go through and like I said, I've only had 3 people in my career that had to leave. So I don't think we're going to have a problem. So number 4, this is not an online class. My homework is online, my test is online, my exam is online. I don't do anything in the classroom, so therefore I have 10 to 15 days. Instead of giving you tests and going over the test, what can I do instead of doing that? Teach. What a concept. To teach 14 weeks and do nothing but teach. That's an interesting concept, isn't it? I don't do busy work. So, what does that mean? That means that you need to take advantage of that. When I show you how to use Mylabsplus the way that I use it, the most important button on Mylabsplus is Ask My Instructor, because that is going to slow down the class if it's going too fast for you. Squeaky door gets what? Golly, your parents did good. If you don't know that the squeaky door gets the OIL or the grease, I don't pronounce OIL because there's always some smart aleck in the group that says I pronounce it the wrong way, and I don't want to embarrass you and insult you, so I don't pronounce OIL. I let you pronounce OIL. And there's a story behind that, and one day I'll have to tell you the story about OIL. Okay? It was when I first started teaching. But anyway, the whole point is, I don't forget what I was talking about now. Oh, if you have a question, you ask it. If I teach 5.1, and this is the way it works. If I teach 5.1, that means you need to do the homework for 5.1 when? Tuesday and Wednesday. If I don't see any questions come in on Thursday, what am I going to assume?
You got it.
That you understand it. And that means I'm going into 5.2. But if Mr. Miller sends 2 questions, and Mr. Smith sends 2 questions, and not Miss V, I'm not going to call you Miss V. What's your first name?
Mandy.
If Mandy sends in 2 questions, then I'm going to slow down before I go into 5.2. Everybody get that? So who dictates the speed of the class?
We do.
Us.
Students. The students do. Now, will I go over a 5.1 question when I'm doing 5.6? No. Because you should have done 5.1 when I covered 5.1. So, now, let me talk to you about people that are worried about dates. When you worry about dates and you drive the teacher crazy about dates, you're hanging a sign around your neck that says, I am a procrastinator. I do things at the last minute. Okay? If you follow my outline and you pay attention to what I do in class, you will know when things will be due. Okay? Now, I do not put a due date on the homework until I go over the test. The reason I don't do that is because everybody has 5 dead grandmothers, 6 flat tires, and oh my God, if I put dates, like if I had today, what's today, the 20th? Okay, and I said, okay, I'm going over 5.1, and I'm going to put a due date of the 22nd in for 5.1 homework. Oh my gosh, I did that one semester, and I told myself I would never do that again. I had to change those dates every day because everybody would have 15 different excuses. And I told myself I would never do that again. So it is unwritten that if I go over 5.1, you should have a good portion of 5.1 homework knocked out by the next meeting day, excluding questions. So if you got 10 problems for 5.1 and you can do 8 and you send in 2, then you're doing okay. If you're not doing any of the homework, then don't cry when I'm on 5.3 and you send in a 5.1 question and I ignore it. Like I said, my supervisor knows how I teach. So you can go in there and say, well, he didn't go over my questions. She's going to automatically think you sent those questions in late. All right? So I'm just telling you, I have a system. This system works for 90% of the class. So it doesn't work for who? LADers and DADers. This doesn't work. So don't be a LADer and don't procrastinate. Attendance. I do not care whether you attend or not. I do have to take attendance because of financial aid and some of the bureaucrats that need a job. Okay? They have a little closet and they keep up with the attendance, and that's their job for the rest of their life. Okay? So I have to do that. It's called bureaucrats. Y'all know what a bureaucrat is? Somebody that really doesn't have a job. They just do things to look like they have a job. Okay? Well, that's what I do it for. I will not drop anybody unless I'm asked to drop somebody. Police department, hospital, Tri-County Tech, your mother, your father, you, your significant other, they have to come to me and say, I want to drop Mr. Miller from your class, blah, blah, blah. Or I'm going to drop Mandy from your class. You need to drop Mandy from your class. And I'll put on there via mother or via police department or whatever the case may be. Okay? I do not drop students. I do not sit at home and say, well, I don't like Mandy because she's not from around here. So when she gets 2.5, when she gets three absences, thank you. When she gets 3 absences, I'm going to drop her. Okay, I have a life. Okay, I have a life, and it does not pertain to me sitting at home worrying about if I want to drop you or not. Okay, I generalize when I speak. If I say there's a bunch of lazy students this semester, don't raise your hand and say you're talking about me. All right? I am not talking about you. I'm not sitting at home saying, okay, well, I'm going to piss Mr. Miller off so he won't come to class anymore. I'm not going to do that. It's like I say, it's a sense of humor. Some of you need to develop that. And I tell all my classes that because there are some people that are prunes and you need to get out of it. Hubert's typical class. I thought for sure y'all would have went on Facebook, not Facebook, Rate My Professor and at least, got a word out of the, but evidently y'all didn't. Or probably 80% of Pendleton did, they just don't talk. But most of the time, I get different, fun, comfortable. I like the word comfortable because I strive to make a comfortable environment the first week of class. Now, does it take 2 to tango? Yes. I can go out of my way to make this class comfortable, but one of the campuses can screw it up. If you want to be frigid, you're going to make the whole class frigid. So don't do that. If I ask you a question, speak, okay? Nobody's going to bite your head off. I know you've been conditioned, just like Southern Baptists, to not move in church. You've been conditioned in 12 years that you're not supposed to talk in class. That's not in my class. Now, if you step out of being respectful, then I'm going to say something. But when I ask a question or we're talking about something and I ask you a question, that means talk. Right? What irritates me? It used to be deadheads. Those students that walk in, what day is it, dude? I just want to kick them in the pants and just throw them out of the room. But now, it's know-it-alls. You'd be surprised, the last 10 years, people that are graduating high school, they didn't build the space shuttle. Hell, they created it. I don't know what the high schools are doing right now, but they are putting out some people. They don't make an 1800 on the SAT. They think they made a 2500 on the SAT. All right? You are at Pendleton University. You are not at Cambridge. All right? Now, I'm not belittling Tri-County Tech. I have a degree from Tri-County Tech. But you are not the person that created calculus. And you are not the person that created Math 109. So don't come into my class acting like you know more than I do, because you don't. Okay? Period. Now, how am I sure about that? Because I have the credentials and you what? Don't. I'm not trying to be asinine. But have you ever been in a classroom where there's a smart aleck in the classroom? Does that smart aleck make the room comfortable, or does he make the room uncomfortable?
Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable because people are scared to ask questions. They're scared to make a comment because of the person, and it's usually a he. I'm sorry, guys, but it's usually a he. That every time a student asks a question, there's some smart aleck going, "Oh, that's an easy question. Oh, I can't believe you asked that. Oh God, you know the type." And I don't put up with that. So if you're one of those people, stay at home, create a cure for cancer, and you can be well on your way to being the smartest person in the world. Okay? While you're at Tri-County Technical College. What do I like in this classroom? And this is two to tango, Pendleton. I like interaction. I like positive attitude. I like sense of humor. Okay, let me back up. Positive attitude, okay. I don't like, what's that chick's name? Kelly Ripa? No. Nobody, if somebody is that happy all the time, something's wrong. They're hiding something, okay? So I don't mean that happy, okay? But a positive attitude, a sense of humor, personality, and good work ethic. You work in here, you pass. You don't work, you don't pass. Nothing's free. Calculators, we will use a calculator. Make sure you have a TI-83 or better. If you're in engineering, you might want to invest in a TI-89, which is calculus-based. But that's up to you. We'll get by with whatever. This is trig, so it's not a big deal. Capiche? Hubert's Info. I do this for several reasons. Again, I'm striving for a comfortable work environment, a comfortable learning environment. Has any of you ever been in a college course to where you sat through an hour and a half the first day and you don't even know the teacher's name? Anybody?
Yeah.
How comfortable is that? It's not very comfortable. And I go on the other end of the extreme. There's my cell number, which I gave you that first class. And there is my office email. Those are the two best ways to contact me because they both go to my cell phone. Well, technically everything goes to my cell phone, but I hardly ever check that Bell South. I need to change that to my other. Don't even send nothing there. I don't even know the password to that one anymore. There's the directions to my office. I'm never in because I'm always down here at AC 137. But that's I give directions to my office because everybody would ask me, where's your office? So I got tired of it, so I put it on the handout so you would have it. And the locator sheet. Locator's right here. Look at there. Tells you when I'm in my office. So that takes care of three things. How do I get in contact with you? Where is your office? And when are you in your office? So you don't ask those three questions anymore. Now, since I am teaching in 3 counties, technically 3 or 4 counties, Oconee, if you have a question, you would text me and we would Skype. Easley, you have a question, you would text me and we would Skype. Same thing with Pendleton. You Skype from your apartment. I'll be at home. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Same thing with Anderson. If where's Anderson? Where do you live in Anderson?
Holly Creek.
Holly Creek. What about you?
Central.
Central. Oh, what the hell are you doing coming here? You need to be at Pendleton. What? Well, you can sit at Pendleton if you want to. I mean, Pendleton, there's some chairs up there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Alexis from Central. Are you born in Central?
Michigan.
Okay. I was fixing to say, I got to be quiet. If you were born in Central, I need to be quiet. Okay, you're a transplant, so you're okay. Michigan. I don't believe I always go back to my Paris Island days when I was in the Marine Corps with somebody's island. That's how I know about Eden Prairie. I always think about people that I went to boot camp with. I don't think I know anybody from Michigan. No, I don't think so. Whereabouts you live? Williamston. Okay.
Marchbank.
Okay, Marchbank.
Well, in Anderson.
Huh?
In Anderson.
Oh, in Anderson. Okay. And where do you live?
Anderson.
Anderson. So y'all two, you need to go to Pendleton. You, instead of coming here for office hours, you would Skype. And that's the whole point of Skype. Unless you just like to waste gas. And, $2 and a half a gallon, knock yourself out. You want to waste gas, knock yourself out. At least we got it now, and it's our own, and at least we don't have to depend. Oh, shut up, Hubert. Okay, so Hubert's Info, that tells you, there's 2 questions on Hubert's Info. One question is, what branch did I serve in? The other question is my email and my phone number that people miss on the test. And it's multiple choice. Yeah, people miss it. And they also procreate and have driver's licenses. I'm waiting to see them on live PD. I'm addicted to live PD also. I love to see drunk people get tased. You ever seen drunk people? Go to YouTube. It's funny. Oh my gosh. There's nothing better than watching drunk people get tased. But those 2 questions from the handout. So make sure you, and whatever you say, I was not in the Army, okay? So please, do not pick the Army. If you do that, I'll fail you. No, I'm just kidding. YouTube. How to go to Hubert's videos. There's the directions for those of you that can't. This is no joke. I had people tell me that they couldn't click on the link. So I can't click on the link. So I click on it, it don't work. So I need to email Hubert and tell him that. Oh my God, people, just type YouTube in the search bar. I bet I've got 5 emails that said, I clicked on the YouTube link and it didn't work. Type in Hubert McClure. There's my pink shirt. Dang old pink. Dang old confident. Playlist. And there are the classes, my classes for the last 6 years. Now, if you can't find your class in any of those classes, then you might need medication too. I mean, I was video recording my classes down here. That's a video recorder I had set up on a tripod. That was 6 years ago. Up here, I've already started putting the first 3. There is Math 110, 2019-10. That's this semester. That's yesterday's classes. Math 155, that's yesterday's. This morning, I had Math 120. I put that. Yours will be called Math 111, Fall 2019. Now, the present video, this semester video, you will use in case you're absent or in case you didn't understand something. If you want to go ahead and look at what 3.5 is or 3.6 or ahead, then you would go to my Math 111. I'm looking, where's Math 111? I'm looking, dang, there it is, fall, 1 year ago. Okay? So you would click on there, and let's say you wanted to watch the first and second day. There's their first and second day is right there. And this would be where we actually start doing math. This is probably the review of algebra. Let's see if it's the review of algebra. I don't like to listen to myself, so I just mute it. Yeah, that's algebra. See? It's going over algebra review. So if you want to watch these first 3 days over the weekend or over between now and Thursday, that will give you some indication of how I do things. Okay? Thursday will be, just like this Thursday, will be Mylabsplus. What's in Mylabsplus? What do you do in Mylabsplus? How do you send questions in Mylabsplus? How do you print out the book in Mylabsplus? What does the test look like in Mylabsplus? There's the test right there. There's a bonus question. What's the weights of Hubert's grades? 20% for homework, 10% for quizzes, 70% for whatever. Capiche? So that's how you utilize the YouTube feature. All right, let's go back to the handouts. Did I lose it again? I don't know how I keep losing it. Okay, I think the last one. Okay. Damn Russians. They done hacked into my, what you call it? Mylabsplus. They're going to change y'all's grades. Okay, the Skype for Business. Skype for Business is used for two things. It's used for, if you want to have office hours, ask a question, go over something you don't understand. And it's also for emergencies. Emergencies, I said emergencies. Pendleton, y'all are bad about this. Y'all take advantage of it. Don't take advantage of it. Just because you went to Tiger Town on Thursday night, that don't mean that you can Skype in because you hung over. All right? My daughter's living up there with y'all, so I remember Thursday night was the night. I don't know if it's still that way or not. But anyway, to make a long story short, don't abuse the privilege. And the privilege is if you are sick, if you have to take somebody somewhere, doctor's appointment, court appearance, whatever the case may be, and you can Skype in. I will count you here if I see you on the video. I'm not going to do no still picture because that could be your roommate calling in. So I have to have a video. I have to see you to get, Make sure you go to Office. You type in your TCTC your username at tctc.edu. As soon as you hit enter, it's going to ask you if you're a business or a student. You hit student, it's going to send you to the TCTC login. You type in H. McClure or whatever your username is and your password and hit the install button up in the top right hand corner, and it will, I think you have either 5 or 7 installations. Phone, tablet, laptop, desktop, home computer, business work computer, whatever you want to. How do you get Skype? You have to go down to the lower left-hand corner and click on it and type in SK, and there it is, and then you can move it over to your desktop. Capiche? Now, what do I do if I want to Skype into class? Well, you read the rest of the handout right here. Make sure you're logged in using your TCTC username and your password. Text my phone number and say, I want to Skype in Math 111, Mandy, or Mr. Miller, or put your first and last name. So now, and then what will I do? I will look you up whenever I start class, and I will bring you into the class. That's why I ask for your name. Because it doesn't work so good if you try to add me. The presentation doesn't work as well. Just do it the way I tell you to do it, okay? Registering on to Mylabsplus. Now, I just got through, and I'll show you this for your information. If you'll look on the board, right here, I just got through adding your Mylabsplus. I'm trying to get there. Math 111. I'm just going to pull one up. There's the Mylabsplus link. I had to go through and add those links. Blackboard was supposed to do it, but it didn't. That's where you click on to go to Mylabs. Now, it's not going to go there because let's look and see. I don't think they have added them yet. I'm going to just pull it up right quick. They've added them, didn't they? Yeah, there they are. So now you can go into 2 ways. You can click on this right here and click on this, and it sends you to Mylabsplus. And then you use your username. Now, this is very important. If you have changed your password from your T number, you can use your password. But if you haven't, and if it keeps running like this, you go up here, right click on that, and put load unsafe scripts. There it goes. Okay? If you don't want to go through there, now it's going to ask you to log in. I'm already logged in. If you don't go through there, you can go through this right here. You might have to use your T number for a password. After you have logged in the first time, all you have to do is this right here. You don't have to go through Blackboard. Half the time it doesn't work, so you're not missing anything. Okay? So there's two ways to get on to Mylabsplus. Once you are registered, it doesn't matter. You can just go through TCTC Mylabsplus, make that a desktop, put it on your desktop, and just click on it, and you can go through there. Capiche?
I've had to pay for Mylabsplus before. Is it covered under tuition?
Everything's covered now, yes. Everything's covered. Academic calendar. There are 2 questions on here. Write them down. The first one, when is the last day of class for session A? I'm pulling it up for you. The last day of class is when? December 3rd. Write that down. That's the test question. Why? Because last week of class, the hammies come out. Oh my God, when's the final? When's the final? When's the last day of class? When's it due? When's this due? I don't like it, people. I really don't. December 4th through the 10th, that's the finals week. That's number 2 test question. When is the last day to drop? Last day of drop is tomorrow by, I guess, 8 o'clock p.m. I don't know. Last day to drop, session A, where is it? There it is. August 21st. That's not a test question. But when we get to rate my professor and I tell you to get the hell out of the classroom, you got till tomorrow to do that. So make sure you print out. This is the second most important handout that you need to have with you all the time. Because after today, don't ask me when you know who I rely on to tell me when I'm not working, y'all. Because I'll say, okay, we're going to go over 5.2 Wednesday. And somebody like Mandy will say, we don't come to class Wednesday. I say, okay. And then I'll look it up, and then, yeah, y'all don't come to class. I don't keep up with it. So that's why this is an important page. Make sure you print it out and put it in your notebook. Next, forwarding TCTC email to sale. I know some of y'all that, heaven forbid you communicate, but this is for those of you, 80% of you that want to know when, and by the time, if I cancel, and that's another thing. If I'm ever at a conference, and I just won the Presidential Medallion this year, so I'm going on a big conference. Anyway, make a long story short, if I go on a conference, I will teach you from my hotel room. Okay? We will meet. Why? Because I don't want nobody teaching y'all. I don't want nobody else teaching y'all because that causes a cluster. It causes a cluster for you. It causes a cluster for me. And I just don't like it. And my boss don't want me to cancel classes. So I have a document cam and I set up my laptop in the hotel room. And instead of y'all seeing the whiteboard, you see a document cam. And you see me writing. Kind of like on the internet with some of those YouTube people. Same thing. This, probably 75 to 80% of y'all will do this. And 20% will come to the classroom, travel all the way up, come to the classroom, and there'll be an empty classroom. But, hey, you can still use your cute little, I didn't check my email. Well, you just wasted half a day coming to class when we didn't have class. So, all right, so that's all the handouts. So let's have a little bit of fun. Y'all want to have some fun? Let's go rate my professor. Hopefully y'all have already been there. I put it in the email. Oh yeah, that's right. Y'all didn't get the email. Okay, it's not zipper time yet. So lay off the zippers, okay? I irritate people do that. And they throw the books down. They make the books. They close their books real loud. I still got 15 minutes, so you'll be all right. All right. Somebody give me somebody they want to check out. Okay, I don't do mumble. I don't do mumble and whisper. So if you talk mumble and whisper, you need to write a note to somebody that don't talk mumble and whisper. Somebody give me a name, last name.
McClure.
Hammond.
I'm not gonna pull mine up. Newton. I heard Newton. Hold on, let's pull up Newton. What do they teach? Oh, he's good. He's a good guy. Oh yeah, he's real good. Yeah, he's got a 4.8. He's a good guy. But he teaches criminal justice. Not a lot of people take that. So, but he's a good one. I don't even have to look at his. I know he's good. All right, somebody give me another one.
How about Hammond? Strom
Okay.
Hammond?
Spell that.
Hold on one second. I think
Is it
it's
like the dip? Hummus?
It's Hammond. She teaches at Pendleton. She's the biology teacher. Strom Hammond.
Drummond?
Yeah.
Drummond, like with a D?
Yes.
It was the right one.
She spells her name really weird.
Okay, well, how does she spell it?
You have to look under D.
D?
Yeah.
It was
Okay, well, you're going to have to look for it because is it DR?
So there's the department at the top.
Okay, where's the department?
Right there.
Click the drop down right below your mouse.
Oh, I didn't even see it. Sorry. Biology?
Yes. The third one?
Roman?
Right here?
Yes.
Okay, get the hell out.
That's who I
Get
have
the
for
hell out.
biology.
There ain't no plan B. There ain't no talking. Get the hell out. You got till tomorrow. Find you another class. I don't know this
You gave me
person,
homework
but with a
last
1.6 is pretty bad.
That's who I have for 113.
You need to get out. You need to take music appreciation, another biology, another chemistry. You need to take something, get the hell
He's
out.
the only person that teaches 113.
Then you
I
need to
think.
get the hell out. Take it at Clemson or something. You would have,
like that. So you think if you have a bad
with a 1.7, you have a better chance at Clemson with a professor than you have with a 1.7.
Well, that's bad.
I don't know who
doing
this is, so I'm not, no, it's not personality. 1.7 is bad.
Yeah. She gave me homework last night, and it took me 3 hours to get to e-text and do all that on Mylabsplus.
I think I would try to, I don't even know what is 113 anyway?
It's, I think it's intro into biology.
I think I would
It's
take
for bridge
biology.
student.
I think if I was you, I would take something else. Is this your first semester?
Yes. I'm
You
a
don't
bridge
want your
student,
first
and I'm doing
semester to be
pre-med.
awful. I would change to something else. You can take other college transfer courses. You don't have to take that one. You can take it next semester, and hopefully another teacher will be teaching it. You can take it at Clemson. But life's too short to deal with a 1.7. I'm sorry, 1.6. That's up to you. Somebody give me another one.
Beverly Thompson.
I've heard she's pretty good, but I don't know. I haven't looked at her. She got a 3.4. So, okay, let me give you the scale. Anything below a 2, get the hell out. Anything between 2 and 3, have a plan B. Have a plan B means, okay, maybe I can take another teacher, maybe I can take another biology, maybe I can take another math, maybe I can take art appreciation instead of this class and maybe take this class next semester. That's a plan B. And then anything 3 or better, stay with it. So she's got a 3.4, so chances are I'd stay with her. I do know this about her because she has an office beside mine. She spends a lot of time helping students.
She seemed nice.
Yeah, so that's a good one. All right, another one.
Grigori?
What?
Starts with a G. He's in
Okay.
the computer technology.
I don't even see him.
Well, he's new, so
How do you spell his name?
Grigori. G-O.
Is that it?
No.
Is that the way you spell it though?
He's new, so he might not have any ratings yet.
Well, we'll see if he has some nationally. O-R-I-A-N. Is that the way you spell it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, evidently he's never taught before unless he's one of these people.
So you can scroll down.
What's his first name?
I'm not sure what his first name is.
I guarantee you if he's taught before, he's on here. Unless he taught at BFE college somewhere that nobody knows. Okay, who's got another one?
Thomas Thompson.
What does he teach?
Chemistry.
Okay, let's look up here. Thompson, Thompson.
Yes.
What's his first name?
Thomas.
It must be you. I don't see a Thomas Thompson.
He's a chemistry teacher.
Well, we can look in chemistry to see if chemistry's in here. How do you go back? There we go. Chemistry.
Here you go.
Thomas Thompson. Get the hell out.
I have that too. Great. I have him for 110.
He really is a bad teacher. That's pretty much. That's pretty basic. Best advice is go to a tutor and do the lab report with them. Regardless of the effort you put into the lab, prepare to get constant 70s. Worst chemistry lab instructor ever.
Great.
I would get the hell out.
Thomas.
One more.
Would you go back to
Wrightson?
Scott?
Okay, she's crazy.
She's a
I mean, in a good way.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's very hard on students.
That's what I want her to do.
She's you're not gonna get by.
That's her right there.
Yeah, she's in here somewhere. Yeah, she's got a 2.8.
Alright.
But I will tell you, she's approachable.
Okay.
She's not 2.8. I would say that's a little bit low for her.
Okay.
I would say probably she's around a 3 or 3.2.
Okay.
You get out of if you work,
Yeah.
you'll be all right.
Yeah.
She don't care for slackers. All right, somebody said something Pendleton or Easley or what y'all say?
I said Wrightson.
Spell it for me.
W-R,
Okay.
W-R-I-G-H-T-S-O-N.
Okay, well.
Teach political science.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're okay. You got a 4.2, so I don't think you'll. And political science is not a real subject that you can make difficult, okay? In other words, like some teachers can make chemistry difficult. You can't make political science difficult unless you just don't have a memory and you can remember, parts of the government and how you do a bill, or who was the president at this time. You can't make that difficult. So it's kind of like music appreciation and art appreciation. Both of them are either hearing or visual. So unless you don't have a good memory, you're going to be all right in those two classes. But the whole point is, you've got till tomorrow. Nothing's in cement shoes. You do not have to do this. You do not have to do. As long as you take the classes or college transfer, as long as you take classes that are towards your degree, you can take them next semester, this semester, whatever. So don't let somebody tell you have to do this. Now, there are gatekeeper courses. You got to get this Math 109 out of the way so you can do what? Math 130. You got to get the Math 130 out of the way to do the Math 230. Same thing with science. But there isn't a law that says what was that, chemistry or biology that you were talking about?
Biology.
The 113, what is that?
Biology.
There's nothing to say that you can't take that biology next semester and take chemistry or astronomy or another science this semester. There's nothing to say you can't take Western Civ 1 instead of take chemistry 113 next semester. Or, a lot of students think they have to do this little cookie cutter semester, and you don't. Life is too short to be sitting in a classroom with a 1.6. That's all I'm going to say. So they can fire me tomorrow, but college is just like a maze. You can go through and just you can go through and bust through the walls, or you can find the best way for you. That's part of the college experience. Finding the best way is using Rate My Professor and finding the best classes with the best communicator. That's, and not picking 21 hours worth of classes and you've got a life and you've got a 40-hour-a-week job. That's suicide. You need to feel your way through this, and your first semester is very important. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm sorry. All right. So what do y'all need to do for Thursday? This is what you need to do. 1, you need to make sure you can find my classes on YouTube. 2, you need to make sure you can get onto Skype for Business. I want you to go ahead and log in and make sure it works before you call me and ask me to Skype. 3, go to Rate My Professor and check out all your classes and make sure you got a good schedule. 4, get your whatever you need for this class. 5, that's when you need to worry about Mylabsplus. Go ahead and try it. You've got the link now. You can go by and, since they're up, get logged on. Thursday, we will go over everything in Mylabsplus. Okay? If you have questions, I need to call the roll right quick. Let me do that.